What if I subverted your expectations and instead talked about cliches? Hey guys, it's Amy here, back again with another video. Subversion is the most loved part of narrative storytelling today. The key to make sure your story is unique and different. Or is it? Have you noticed how often big media companies are doing this? Movies, books, and more? And sometimes to the point where subversion becomes terribly predictable. Legit, I read a trope where their form of subversion was literally taking a plot twist out of Star Wars. It was so cheap. And it was trying to be done in like a dramatic context, but I literally laughed out loud. They literally took it out of Star Wars. I have a blog post on that book coming out early October. But it was after reading that book that I decided that subversion had to be talked about. That we need to work out the methods to make it work in a universal fashion where it can still be unpredictable. And in a typical Amy Rosenfeld fashion, I've got 7 steps to doing this. So let's go. 7 steps to being supreme at the subtle art of subversion. Number 1, take the original trope. I mean, this much is obvious. It is not enough to simply make a twist without having the original trope there to subvert. You're gonna want to pick one that you know and you see very often. Maybe one that you initially liked and grew tired of, or maybe one that you think is problematic in nature. Yes, you do not want to include just any trope. Sometimes a trope has already been subverted out of existence, or nothing new can be said about subverting them. Do not subvert for the sake of subverting, because you need to. Number 2, identify its core. You got your trope, but it's not enough. You need to identify the core of your trope. I'm not talking about the basic plot points that happen within your trope, but the core of the trope is what it says about human nature and culture. For instance, enemies to lovers is learning about love acting in mysterious ways, or the value of getting to know somebody. And this trope was likely a subversion for love at first sight. More so, we have the chosen one trope, being about duty and responsibility. So try and identify what lessons or realization come out of your trope in a story context. Number 3, decide what you want to say. Now that you have your trope, what is it that you want to change about the nature of it? Changing one small thing in the trope can change the entire message. So what about the original trope's message do you want to alter? Or what kind of new message do you want to make with this change? This could even be you saying that a particular trope is overdone and you're subverting expectations just to give the audience a refresher. A la Marvel having a lot of villains with the right morals but the wrong methods, and now they're tiring that trope out. Jesus Christ. Or it could just be something else that you want to say. Maybe you want to say something on the trope of, I don't know, horny vampires? Number 4, make a change. Of course, to make your statement with your subversion, you're going to have to work out what is changing. How can you change expectations of what the message would be to your new truth? Let's take my odd example of horny vampires. Romances involving vampires specifically. The core of this trope is meant to show that vampires are monstrous and kill humans, but they still have a sense of humanity inside of them. Because, you know, that's what most vampires once were. But what if we wanted to say that the portrayal of these vampires in a sexualized way and the way that they choose their partners is problematic? We can turn a vampire into a twisted and manipulative partner, one that winds up becoming the villain. Number 5, leave expectations. What makes subversion work really well is how it's unpredictable in nature, but in an I told you so kind of way. The key to this is to foreshadow the outcome of this trope as regularly, but with some red herrings thrown in. Red herrings are points that allude to what is not the truth, but it is framed in the way that it could actually be true. Everyone expects these red herrings to be truthful, and these can accompany the original plot points that you are foreshadowing to assure that it remains hidden. You're making fake promises to the audience that the subversion is not going to happen. With that vampire trope being subverted, an easy way we can do this is have the vampire be protective of the partner while their friends are weary of them. The main character, who is not the vampire, can just see this as their friends being wary for the fact that their partner is just a vampire. And their protectiveness is endearing, when in reality, the vampire is starting to become possessive of them, and their friends are starting to notice that, and that is truly what they are being wary of. Number 6, the reveal. This is where you drop the mic. The one moment where you reveal that this is not going the way that you are leading the audience to think so. It doesn't have to be a plot twist either. It can just be a moment where doubt settles in, where it looks like the subversion is more likely going to happen than the original trope itself. For example, with the vampire trope, this could be a moment where the main character feels fear towards their vampire partner in some form. They're afraid of them, not afraid for them. Though the main character may still be charmed by the vampire, the audience sees it. They're starting to know the truth. More importantly, when does this happen? This needs to happen within the 3rd quarter of your book, between the midpoint and just before the climax. No later than the switch between the 2nd and 3rd act of your story, basically. Number 7, develop. Now the gig is up, this is a chance for you to explore the true depths of your trope. What does it mean for the narrative, characters, and themes now that this trope and its true form has come to light? This is where the morals of the trope come out, for the characters or the readers, making them change their minds about the original trope. Maybe after that vampire incident, you will never see Bella and Jacob the same way again. Because this is the part where you're going to hook them into loving this trope, and they will want nothing more than to see this trope over and over again in all the stories that they read. And then it gets tired and the cycle continues. And that is the subtle art of subversion. Let me know in the comments your favorite moments when your expectations were subverted. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you are new around here. Ring that bell so you can find out when I post more creative content. ASTER'S CODA exposure is available now in the description in ebook and paperback formats. Follow Abby Tacker as she has to deal with her family's otherworldly blood feud. And also check me out on my Instagram, my Twitter, my book talk, and my website. Stay creative, everybody, and I will see you in the next video.